are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to hit the pick.
Touchdown!
Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loud Esmond and Christian Giordani. Bet on us to make you a better bettor.
What?
It's time to hit the pick.
Good Friday, everyone. Welcome to Hit the Pick. I'm Christian Giordani. This is Loud Esmond. Make sure to go to hitthepick.com. They got an all-in package right now, only $25 for any capper for 30 days. Loud, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Of course, that is now only going to be 10 days because it just takes you to the end of the month of June. Then we will have a different package in July, and then starting in August, prices are going to start to go up as we get closer to the football season. And you may want to get locked in. I think the best way to go is we're going to be offering at hitthepick.com some packages where you can buy the entire, say, NFL football season from every capper for one price. And imagine during the season, it's, a single pick at most sites is anywhere between $19 and $35. So like, even if we charged $199 for the season, I mean, imagine that's, most of these guys on the site are making 2 or 3 picks a day. So, I mean, you're talking about dozens of picks every week that you would be getting from you could compare every capper's picks. And man, that would be the way to go. I think just go ahead and get your season locked in right from the start. All right. So UFL is over. I had a rough start to the season, but I closed out strong. I split on the over-under, which I hit, and I missed on the winning team and the margin. But I also had 2 prop bets hit out of the 3 that I picked. So did pretty well in that final game. Going into the championship game, I was on a 8-3 run. So my last 11 picks in the UFL, I went 8-3. So I generally do get dialed in as the season progresses, because there's always some surprising teams, odd things that happen, teams that you think were going to be better for some reason just aren't, teams that just suck, that surprisingly it happens. I mean, like last year, going into the season, I was really high on the 49ers. And they got so badly bit with the injury bug that they ended up only winning, I think, 8 games.
Right on there.
And missing the playoffs completely. I really like Joe Burrow and the Bengals going into last season. I didn't realize how awful their defense really was. And although I think he led the league in passing, and I think they led the league in scoring, they still failed to make the playoffs. So I don't feel bad now. We are a little over a month, basically a month and a week away from the first NFL preseason game. The Hall of Fame
85 days. 85 days.
No, from the first preseason game.
Oh.
The first preseason game, I think is it July? No, I'm sorry, 2 months. It's like July 31st or something is the Hall of Fame game.
42 days, July 31st.
All right, July 31st. Okay. So we are basically a month, a little bit away, and that means we are less than a month from training camp.
Yeah.
So, because NFL training camps will open about the middle of July.
NFL training camp this year will be, mid-July. Open the season mid-July.
Yeah, so we're not that far away. So during the month of July, I am going. There are 32 teams in the NFL. I'm going to do an over and under prediction for all 32 NFL teams. I'm going to start June 30th, and the last one will be done on July 31st. And I will post a video every day on the Hit the Pick YouTube page, and you'll be able to see me analyze every single team's over-under. And I've actually set aside $1,600 so I can make a $50 bet on the over-under on every team in the NFL. So, because there's 32 teams. So I'm going to put a $50 bet. I'm going to bet every single one of these things. So I'm going to be putting my money where my mouth is. By the way, I remember talking about last year how great the first week of NFL football was in terms of schedule. They've outdone themselves. This is the greatest week 1 schedule I have ever seen in my life. It is freaking amazing. Eagles Cowboys starts off Thursday night. Then there's a Friday night NFL football game first week. Awesome.
Heck yeah, let's.
Friday night NFL football. Chiefs Chargers. And then you get to Sunday. And okay, Dolphins Colts, meh. Steelers Jets, Aaron Rodgers revenge game, meh. Panther Jaguars, Mets, Cardinals Saints, meh. But Giants Commanders, that's pretty good. Buccaneers Falcons, okay. Battle of Cincinnati, Battle of Ohio, Bengals Browns, okay. The Raiders at the Patriots, okay. I'm very interested. Well, I want to see how Mike Vrabel comes out of the box as the coach for the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to be really good.
That is a team I think that would be a sleeper team this year going ahead.
Yeah,
maybe
Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach. Tell me all the best quarterbacks that Mike Vrabel ever had.
There it is. There it is.
He had Derrick Henry, but other than that, tell me all the superstars that were ever on that team. And he went to the playoffs almost every freaking year with, I think, at best, a middle-of-the-road roster every year. And not good quarterback play.
Yeah,
so
I think his best quarterback was Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not.
Yeah, I'm impressed to see what it does. I'm impressed to see what he does with Drake May.
Yeah, and Tannehill's not even as good as Derek Carr. So, there's that you've got to deal with. And then in the afternoon, 49ers Seahawks. That's always great.
Yeah, great rivalry.
In Seattle, all right, Titans Broncos snore, but Lions at Packers. And then you get your Rams that afternoon. The Texans come to town.
Good
and
game,
then
man.
Sunday night, Ravens Bills. That's your Sunday night football game. Ravens at the Bills. That's going to be, man, you want to talk about a great game. And, Vikings, Bears, okay, that's the Monday night football game. It's the NFC North. It's going to be interesting to see how the Vikings look with J.J. McCarthy. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt again and actually starts the season. No Sam Darnold. And so you're going to get to see almost immediately, what do they look like? Was Sam Darnold a fluke, or did it matter having Sam Darnold? And then there's a hell of a lot of pressure on the Chicago Bears to be good. They got the coach that they wanted. He shored up the offensive line by spending and drafting. He brought in a couple shiny new toys on the offense. He shored up the defense a little bit. Caleb Williams, very high expectations. So that's going to be a good game as well. What do you think of the week 1 schedule?
It is a phenomenal schedule. You said Panthers, Jaguars. is a game you shouldn't look out for. I disagree. I think that's going to be one of the more exciting games in week 1.
Well, I put it this way. I don't think those teams are going to matter down the stretch. That's what I'm saying. To me, what's interesting to me is there are a number of matchups of teams that want to be relevant down the stretch. The Cowboys and the Eagles want to be relevant. The Chiefs and the Chargers want to be relevant. The Commanders want to be relevant, and they've got a rivalry with the Giants. Buccaneers, Falcons. Who's going to take control of the South in the NFC? Because I tell you what, it ain't going to be the Saints. Oh my God, the Saints are going to be awful.
Winless.
If I was the Saints, there's no way I'm putting Tyler Shuff out there on the field that season.
It's Spencer Rattler all year.
I would go 0-16 and put Spencer Rattler out there every week. And if he got hurt, I would go to the backup behind Shuff. I am not putting him on the field this year because they are going to suck out loud. I am betting on 3 wins for the Saints.
Wow. That's generous.
Yeah, well, they could go 0-16. It's possible. Because the thing that is just terrible, look, they've got some nice pieces, but new head coach, brand new quarterbacks, brand new coordinators. I mean, everything's brand new, and there's no veteran presence at quarterback. That is just a recipe for disaster, as far as I'm concerned. The team that I'm going to be rooting for this year also has problems. Everybody knows I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. Love Josh Allen. I left the Raiders in the dust after being a fan for so many years. But when they mistreated Derek Carr the way that they did, who, by the way, I mean, you want to talk about a class act. Dude, all he had to do was have surgery, and he could have sat on the bench for the year and collected $30 million. And he said he didn't feel right about taking the Saints' money knowing he couldn't play. I'm sorry. Who passes up $30 million, Christian?
Better man than I am. Derek Carr's a better man than I am. That's all I can say.
Yeah, there's that. Okay. James Cook was a major piece at running back for the Buffalo Bills last year. He's holding out.
Yeah.
So I mean that could be a long-term problem for them. I don't know. Okay, here's the subject that I want to set up for this show. We know all the teams that made the playoffs last year. Let me read them off to you. Eagles, Chiefs, Steelers, Buccaneers, Commanders, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Texans, Rams, Ravens, Bills, Vikings. Those are your 12. There are 2 teams that missed the playoffs last year that were expected to be a playoff teams. Those were the San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Which team is more likely to make the playoffs, Christian?
Oh, God. This is a tough question for me. Cincinnati's a better offense, but their defense is so terrible.
And they have a problem with it. They've got the number 1 sack guy.
Yeah.
Is unhappy, and they're cheap. They have a reputation for it. Are they going to break the bank for him? If they don't, he may not play.
I don't think he will. I don't think Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals will come to an agreement. But I still think they're going to have a better year than the 49ers. There's just so many overlaying problems you can't look past.
Okay, 49ers, lay out the problems for me.
Okay, they have a weak wide receiver room. Brandon Ayuk's going to be gone for the majority of the year. They just let go of Deebo Samuel. Of course, you have George Kittle. You just paid Brock Purdy. There's not a lot of money to move around. Your defense is
so
gutted.
what's Ayuk's status?
Ayuk's going to be he had a torn Achilles last year. He's going to be coming back around week 6, 7. So that's about 6 to 7 weeks without your number 1 guy. You're going to be looking at Ricky Pearsall, a hobbled Christian McCaffrey, even if he comes back, and a George Kittle. And then your defense has got gutted last year. We'll see what they do with their young guys, but I don't really have a lot of high hopes for the 49ers.
Yeah, the Rams are going to win that division.
I
don't think there's no doubt in my mind that the Los Angeles Rams are going to win the NFC West. Devontae Adams, what do you think? You're a Rams fan. Him versus Cooper Kupp. And I still don't understand it, Christian. Why did they let Cooper Kupp walk? Did his performance fall off dramatically and I missed it?
Well, yes, it's more of he can't stay on the field. In the past 3 seasons, he only played, I believe, 17 games. And he hasn't put up 1,000-yard season since that amazing, phenomenal Triple Crown season in 2021. It was just their time. I feel like a change of scenery is what both teams needed. Cooper Kupp out and now back home in Seattle might rejuvenate his career, but Devontae Adams at the moment is the better wide receiver.
So Adams and Puka Nacua, that's freaking scary, dude.
It creates a lot of things. And one more thing, another reason Cooper Kupp was on the out, he was taking Puka Nacua's touches out of the slot. With Devontae Adams there, it creates a lot better vertical threat for the Rams, and it creates a lot more open space over the middle for Puka.
Yeah, I think absolutely the Rams are going to win the NFC West. I mean, Seattle, it's Sam Darnold, it's a new coach. They let all their receivers go. It's a rebuild, sort of. Okay, I get it. 49ers, we went through the problems with them. I'm sorry, who's the other team in that division?
Arizona.
Yeah, they suck. So yeah, that should be the. I mean, honestly, that's one of the NFC West is one of the easiest divisions right now to just say, okay, the Rams are going to win that. Another really easy one, AFC East, the Bills are going to win that. Another easy one, AFC West, the Chiefs are going to win that. NFC South, barring a big leap from the Atlanta Falcons, it's the Buccaneers.
Yeah, barring a terrible injury, it's the Bucs.
NFC North, Ravens. I'm sorry, AFC North, Ravens.
Yeah.
NFC North, Lions.
Yeah, it should be the Lions.
So NFC East, Eagles.
Washington.
You think? Okay, because there's a big. Okay, so there's two worlds of thought on Washington right now. The betting guys on ESPN keep saying Washington is going to take a step back because they won so many games last year in miracle fashion. They won like 6 games in the last 2 minutes or something. They had that complete miracle win on the Hail Mary.
Hail Mary against Chicago.
And they're saying, okay, no, that you can't, magic like that doesn't continue. I say, as a Raiders fan in the 1970s, bull crap. In the late 70s, the Raiders, we used to say, okay, we're down by 14 with 3 minutes left. We got them right where we want them. Because they would always come back. It was insane. And they just had it. The Raiders Al Davis, just win, baby. The Raiders with the Snake, Kenny Stabler and Casper and Fledbikoff and Cliff Branch and that defense and the offensive line, it seemed like a lot of times that they didn't wake up until the fourth quarter, And so to say, oh, it has to return to the average, to the mean, they can't win. No, you can read it another way, Christian, which is maybe they're just really good at winning.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I read it. You can see these last 2-minute drives, wins as luck or whatever. I see it as clutchness and poise and a young man behind under center.
Yeah, there's another team that did that all last year. They're called the Kansas City Chiefs. And remember, all last year we were talking about, oh my God, how did that field goal get missed? Oh my God, how did they let that guy get behind him for the touchdown? Oh my God. By the way, oh my God is, I think, how we're going to feel about the Chiefs this year, because that receiver core, healthy, whew,
oh my God.
Oh my God. I mean, the Chiefs made it to the playoffs last year. They had a deep run, and they were injured, Christian, badly. Who are their receivers? Name them off for me. Hollywood.
It was Hollywood, Juju. They had a really bad Travis Kelce. Markel's Vacquez, Scantley. You know,
yeah,
some of the greatest guys in the game.
Okay, so now this year, the Chiefs depth chart.
They have Rashid Weiss, Xavier Worthy.
All right, so Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown are your 3 starters. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hello? If they stay healthy with Rashid Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Hollywood Brown, and even Travis Kelce, I know Travis Kelce has lost a step. I get it. But if imagine putting all 4 of those guys on the field at the same time. What do you do?
There's not much you can, and this leads into a question I've been dying to ask you. Is there anyone in the AFC that can dethrone the Chiefs?
The Buffalo Bills. If the Bills get home field advantage.
Not Baltimore. They just got a Pro Bowl defensive back for a really cheap price.
Yeah, I don't believe in Lamar. I'm sorry. I just Lamar always. Tell me the great, big, important game Lamar Jackson played brilliantly in.
Yeah.
None. Tell me anytime Josh Allen didn't do everything required of him to win.
He's always been one play away from a Super Bowl, one play away from a championship game.
Yeah, and it's oh boy. I hope he's not one of those guys that goes his whole career and is always this close and never makes it. That'd be terrible. The Bills invested very heavily in their pass rush because I think the only way you stop the Kansas City Chiefs is you have to get Patrick Mahomes on his ass. That's it. If he has 2 or 3 seconds, you're done because somebody's going to be open. That if they stay healthy, they are really dangerous. I'm just that. Yeah, that's terrifying to me. The AFC West probably sends 3 teams to the playoffs. Kansas City Chiefs, San Diego Chargers, Denver Broncos. Denver's going to be really good.
Denver's going to be great. Their defense is
lights out.
Yeah.
Kansas City, scary as hell. Second year under Jim Harbaugh, he's never missed the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, hello. Yeah. That's Harbaugh in his second year. There's always this giant leap. And I'm really expecting that the AFC West. I mean, it's really kind of sad. You should just take the Raiders and if you could, you know how they relegate teams to the lower leagues in soccer?
Yeah.
The Raiders should just be relegated to the UFL.
Bring up the Roughnecks.
Bring up, maybe the Michigan Panthers. I think they'd be more competitive. But in any case, there's the Raiders are no threat to anybody in that division. The AFC West, I think they put 3 teams in, and I think it's possible that the NFC North puts 3 teams in. The Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings.
Not the Bears. No love for the Bears.
I do not believe in Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. I think this is the year that
this is a prove it year, right?
Prove it year, and nope.
He asked for a better O-line. He got one. He asked for more offensive weapons. He got one.
It.
He asked for a better defense, and they got it. Chicago has spent this last year, and it is now Caleb Williams' turn to prove it.
Yeah, either he shows out or this year, or they made a mistake.
Does Minnesota stay as the same premier juggernaut as they were last year with
No, I don't think so. No, I think Lions will have the best record, Packers next, and Minnesota after that. J.J. McCarthy's a rookie, okay? I mean, he's got one of the best receivers in the league. He's got a great defense.
1 minute.
A lot of positive things, but rookie quarterbacks tend to struggle in the NFL. Jaden Daniels was the exception, okay? Let's make that clear. Most of the time, Peyton Manning was crappy his first year. Tom Brady wasn't great the second half of the season when he took over for, I even forget the guy's name now. Bledsoe. So yeah, it's rookie quarterback is a tough thing in the NFL. And that's why the Saints are screwed. By the way, Spencer Rattler started 8 games last year for the Saints, and he was 0-8.
Yeah, Spencer Rattler, not the best quarterback in the NFL.
He was 0-8.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been Hit the Pick. Make sure to go to hitthepick.com. Check out our all-in packages for the last 10 days of the month, and keep your eye out for our best bets going forward.